Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. Now, before I get into this video, I'm going to say this now. I don't identify as a Republican or a Democrat because on both sides, there are people that get on my nerves and they do stuff that get on my nerves on both sides. And on both sides, there are some people that are good people that do good things. That being said, anything I have to say about politics, about what happens in our country, which I usually don't even talk about because it's always some mess and there's always crazy people on both sides that always have something crazy to say despite anything that's the truth or what you say. I do my best to have unbiased opinions, and what I say is based more off of what I see as the truth and what I see is, right from wrong, than my support for one side or the other or for some group or some other group. But anyways, as you all have heard, and I meant to make this video sooner, but as you all have heard, former President Donald Trump has been under investigation for some stuff he did that he had no business doing with his taxes and for the January 6th insurrection. Now, I'm not even getting into the tax thing because let's just be honest, all of them are doing it. Nobody's going to jail over it because if you send one to jail for it, you got to send all the rest of them. So we're not even going to go there. It's not right, but what are we really going to do about it? Now, the January 6th issue, they are really trying to nail him to the wall for what he did. Now, there's been a lot of people going back and forth on the internet, which is why I said, like in my previous video, that I don't even like making videos about politics because people are crazy when it comes to this stuff. There have been people going back and forth saying, swearing up and down that he did nothing wrong, that he didn't inspire any kind of violence. Now, there is even a video of him that, he came out with saying that he did not want them to use violence when they marched on the Capitol. And he actually told them to stop using violence. But this was allegedly a video that he made something like 3 hours after they had already stormed the Capitol and unfortunately delivered many fatalities and hurt many people. Now, many people, like I said, believe that what he said didn't inspire people to violence, but I'm failing to understand what he expected an angry group of individuals that are very like-minded, and by I mean, like-minded, I mean think like him, who were angry because they felt, as he had said out of his own mouth, that the election was stolen, which he went on a whole campaign and all the people, the Republicans that supported him, did the same. These were angry people, angry men, mind you, who thought like him, who felt the same as him, who were passionate about him, who he said to them that the election was stolen. He also said, allegedly implied, that if Mike Pence, which is what he said, this ain't what Yoshi Entertainment is saying, this is what he implied, that if they did not win, it was because of something Mike Pence didn't do, and they knew who to blame if he lost. Did he not also say that he would meet them down at the Capitol to take back their freedom, that this was a travesty, implying allegedly that they would have to march on the Capitol in order to make things right? Now, like I said, this is not words from Yoshi Entertainment. These are words from his mouth, videos that are still on the internet today. And y'all remember this took place back during the pandemic. So we all had plenty of time to watch what he was saying and watch what was going on. And there were even videos of these men who, I'm not going to describe the demographic that they're a part of, but we all know. There were videos of these men talking about, oh, Trump sent us here. We came here because he told us to come here. He said he was going to meet us here, that we had to take back our freedom. Also, because this is the age of technology, y'all. Everybody's got cameras and camera phones and smart thises and smart that's. People were recording the violence that went down, so nobody can say that there was no violence. There were literally people who didn't make it home that day because of that insurrection. But anyways, we're not going to go there on how if that entire group of men were a completely different color, y'all know what I'm talking about, they would have all been shot dead before they'd gotten anywhere near that place, anywhere near the White House. We're not going to even go there on how they were actually politicians that came forward and said that these men who were armed, some of them with all kinds of weapons, the president said to let them through. Of course, his guards were saying, hey, these people have weapons. What happens if you get hurt? And he literally said, they're not here to hurt me. Let them through. We're not going to go there on how people complained and whined about Black Lives Matter and all the damages that was done during their protest, which was comprised of not just Black people, but also white people and Asian people and Mexican people, and how it was actually proven that some of those people within those protesters were not for Black Lives Matter. They were for other groups, if you know what I mean. They were causing damage on purpose to make it look like it was the Black Lives Matter protesters that were causing damage. But we're not going to go there on that. But we're really not going to go there on how everybody complained about all the damage and the blue lives that were lost during their protests. I didn't hear much from said Blue Lives Matter people when the blue lives that were lost during the insurrection on January the 6th. We're not going to go there on that. And also that there was a particular blue life that was lost that day, whose family is still pissed to this day because it's been swept under the rug, all to try and smooth over and not make it look like what happened really happened. We're not going to go there on how they had a whole investigation and trial, including 5 police officers who were there, who saw the violence with their own eyes, were involved in the violence, trying to protect themselves and stop people from rushing into a Capitol building. We're not going to go there on how they all gave very chilling reports. There was white cops, there was a Mexican cop, and there was a black cop. We're not going to go there on how the black cop not only had to be assaulted, but was also called racial slurs. We're not going to go there on how one of the white cops recalled how one of them asked him, "Are you my brother?" Which, if you don't know, is code for, "Are you with us? Tell me yes, so we can just walk past you," or "No, so we can whoop your behind too." Sidebar. I don't care who you support. I don't care what Democratic Party or Republican Party you're a part of. It doesn't matter. Those were officers of the law who did not deserve to go through that. They are charged with protecting people of our country. The same people who said they were for their country that were attacking them. Keep that in mind. But anyways, we're not going to go there on how people who were working in the Capitol building at the time literally had to run for their lives away from these people. Now, I think I've been generous, and quite extending of mercy to not, consider all of these things that should be considered anyways. But for me, for right now in this video, what we're going to consider on top of everything, the most important thing, when those people rolled out that wood and erected a noose in broad daylight for everybody to see and started chanting, I'm not going to say it up on here because y'all not going to get me in trouble, but y'all know what they said, what they wanted to do. And you know what's sad? It's sad that there are some people who still don't believe to this day, almost 3 years later, that if they would have gotten their hands on the former Vice President, Mike Pence, that exactly that would not have happened. And it's sad that because it didn't escalate to that they refuse to believe that it could happen. I mean, come on now. If you ignore everything else, if you don't want to grasp anything else, you got to at least draw the line there, right? The former Vice President, Mike Pence, who literally did everything and then some to help the president, the former president, who, like I said, got up in front of millions of his followers and said, if we lose today, it's because the election was stolen, somebody cheated, and Mike Pence didn't do his job. Now, I can't remember the political jargon for what he was supposed to do that allegedly was actually illegal for him to do in order to overturn the election. But I guess despite all of the support that he had been giving to Trump for whatever reason, he decided that was where he was going to draw the line. And he said, I'm not doing that. And because he refused to do it, one could say, allegedly, he turned them on the former vice president. They needed somebody to blame for not getting the job done. And when Trump said Mike Pence didn't do his job, that was their go-to. We've got to at least open our eyes and admit that much, right? Right? Allegedly. And you know what's sad? What's really sad about that? The former VP literally, like I said, I believe did everything that the former president asked him to do, wanted him to do, supported him to the fullest extent. And the one time he decided he wasn't going to do something, oh, that was worthy of turning all of his supporters against him. I'm going to be honest, whenever I saw the video of what they were saying, what they had did, their intentions for him, I was shocked. I was shocked at how fast that they could turn on somebody who they supported and who was the leader, essentially, or one of the leaders of their party. I was shocked at how fast they did a, about face on the guy. But then at the same time, considering everything, I couldn't be too shocked, or at least not surprised. Another point I want to bring attention to is a young woman named Cassidy Hutchins, who was the aide, if I'm not mistaken, of one of the White House chief of staff during the last, if I'm not mistaken, year that Trump was in office. She came forward confirming a lot of stuff and with a lot of information that just made everything seem a lot worse. Well, I can't say seem a lot worse. Let's just be honest. Confirm it to be as worse as we thought it was. A lot of people swore up and down that January the 6th wasn't pre-planned, that this was something that just happened out of the blue. But no, she was one of the main people who confirmed that it in fact was pre-planned. She even named Rudy Giuliani, allegedly, I'm gonna add that in there, that he was the one who told her, hey, are you, just wait until the 6th, like the president, he's gonna be so cool, he's gonna look strong. And she even asked him, what in the world is going on January the 6th? But he never actually told her. There were even people on TikTok, allegedly, who were removing their TikToks after they knew they were about to get busted because they had information about that before it even happened. I know that all this happened 3 years ago, almost, but let's not sit up here and act like we have amnesia, okay? She also alleged that one of the, like I said, the White House chief of staff was burning documents in his office fireplace. Why was he burning documents? But anyways, she named a couple of other people and was coming forward about all the stuff, the shady stuff, probably illegal, allegedly, that they were doing to help and cover for the former president. Now, this is all on top of, mind you, her not even having the support of her own two parents, who are avid Trump supporters. And there were people who refused to believe that her parents refused to support her for legitimate reasons. Like saying, going so far as to say that she lied and that that's why her parents didn't support her. As if there aren't just bad parents out here who will throw their own children under the bus to go chase after whatever they believe in. But anyways, without the support of her own two parents, which is pretty messed up because they chose to support him instead of their own daughter, she went to her own father. And this is something she said. I keep saying this is not something that Yoshi Entertainment is making up or pulling out of the clouds. She went to her own father for a loan that she told him she'd pay him back for so that she can hire an attorney and not use the one from, I guess, the Trump administration. And he wouldn't even do it. She even begged him and he refused. She said that she regretted it. It was one of the only things about this that she regretted, was begging him to help her, for him to say no. Pitiful. Pitiful. And she's not the only person who has come forward with this kind of information. She's just one of the main people that has gotten a lot of attention as of late. And I'm assuming it's because of how close proximity she has to the president, the vice president, people who she's worked for, with his campaign. Now, I said all that to say this. These two main points, the former vice president who was thrown under the bus by the president, the former president, when he couldn't get his way, the campaigns going on about voter fraud and it being a stolen election, and them sweeping things that happened under the rug, people's lives who were lost. Like I said, like the police officers who were assaulted. Some of them were beat unconscious, y'all. Some of them didn't make it home. And all that was swept under the rug to help continue cover for what he did. For him influencing them to go down there. People still coming forward, like this young woman, like I said, the vice president, whose life was in danger, who they said, he didn't want to flee the Capitol because he didn't want to be seen fleeing the Capitol. No, he didn't want to get in the car because he knew his life was in danger. The fact that all of that was pre-planned and people, again, lost their lives during it. I think, if anything, all of that should be taken into account before anybody so quickly comes to his defense to say that he's not at fault for influencing people to do bodily harm, to do January the 6th. Keep that in mind. Keep in mind the people whose lives were lost, the blue lives who were lost, trying to stop them from getting into the Capitol building. Keep that in mind before you come to his defense so strongly. Anyways, y'all let me know respectfully what y'all think in the comments below.